Hi, good morning to all of you. So, in this semester, I am taking the subject computer organization. So, in this subject, we are going to be discuss basically about the computer system. So, that means if you consider the computer system, we have several parts in the computer system. Regarding of those parts, we will discuss detailing. So, what is the organization of a computer? So, what is meant by a memory? What are different types of memories are available? So, what is meant by a processor? And what are the several peripheral devices, that is input and output devices? And what are those functionalities? All these things we are going to be discussed here. Here, mainly, if you go through these particular concepts, you will have some idea about the hardware concepts of the system. So whenever you have the idea of a configuration, idea of the computer hardware, so suppose if you want to know the performance of your computer system, so how we can measure the performance of a computer system, how we are going to be calculate the performance of a computer system, what are different aspects to improve the performance of a computer system. So like that different things we can discuss here. So coming to the first unit, the first unit is going to be describe the basic structure of a computer. So in this unit, we are going to be cover the topics. What are different types of computers? The functional units of a computer system, that means the block diagram. The basic operational concept of a computer system. What is meant by a bus? What are different types of bus structures? What is meant by a software? What are different types of softwares are available? What is meant by the performance of a system? How we can measure the performance of a system? And lastly, we are going to discuss about multi-processors and multi-computers. So coming to the first one, before going for the computer types, just we will discuss about what is meant by a computer system. So several times we have been discussed this one. A computer can be defined as a fast electronic calculating machine which accepts the data as an input information, process to a list of internally stored instructions, and produce the resulting output information. Generally, we will define that a computer system is a fast electronic device which accepts the user input data, process the data, and produce the desired output. Here, it will accept some input data given by the user. So that is nothing but of whatever the input we are giving for the system. To achieve the desired output of the system, we want to process the data. Here processing is nothing but of what are the list of instructions we have written in the system. Based on those instructions, we will execute the program. After executing the program, we will achieve the desired output. So simply we define that it is an electronic device which accepts some user input data, process the data, and produce the output or desired output as the user required. Here list of instructions means computer program. So what are the program we have been written? That program is going to be useful for processing the data. And internal storage is nothing but of memory, computer memory. So coming to the next one, computer types. Whenever you go for these computer types, computers are basically divided into some categories. The division of the computers are done by based on the size of the computer system and based on the capacity of a computer system. Here size is nothing but of the how much of place physically the computer system is occupying, and here the capacity means how fast the system can execute the instructions. So here several types they have been divided: personal computers, workstations, mini computers, microcomputers, supercomputers, mainframe computers, like that several categories. All these categories are purely done by based on the size of a computer system as well as based on the capacity. Here first one, personal computer. The most common computer is a PC. PC means personal computer, which is used in homes, schools, business, office, etc. This is one of the most useful system. We can see in many places, or we can use for our personal. Mostly we are going to use this one, personal uses. So mainly this can be used in homes, in educational institutions, in businesses. Nowadays wherever you go for any business purpose, that is shopping, like that, every persons are using a computer system. That system is nothing but of a personal computer. It is most common type of desktop computers with processing and storage units along with various input and output devices. Here whenever you come for this one, it is the common desktop type. Desktop type means where we can place on a desk or a table. It have some processing, it have a storage, and here we can also use several input output devices. Simply if you consider a computer system, we have a keyboard input device, mouse input device, a barcode reader input device, and different input devices. Whereas we have a printer, monitor, all these things. This will be considered as an output device. So these are the most common found in home, school, business, office, etc. So here see how it will be physically, the shape. So here this is the monitor and this is central processing unit where we have storage, ALU, memory unit, all these things, and this is one input device, keyboard, and this is one output device, monitor. So we will use in this one. Coming to a notebook computer. So this is nothing but of, generally we will call it as a laptop. A notebook computer is like a personal computer, generally smaller than a briefcase, that can easily be transported and conveniently used in temporary storage spaces such as aeroplanes, in libraries, temporary offices, and meetings. These are compact and portable versions of PC. Here all the components are packed into a single unit the size of a thin briefcase. Here simply we can call it one as a laptop. So the major advantage of this one is we can easily carry from one place to another place. So we are getting around 2 kgs of weight, a laptop, which we can carry easily, and wherever you go you can carry and you can use at any temporary places, not like personal computer. So the major difference is, if you are using a personal computer, so physically it's not an easy to carry, because of you want to carry monitor, CPU, keyboard, all these things, and we need some setup to place the computer, as well as we require a power to operate the system, all these things. But whereas when you consider a laptop, there is no need of power because of already it have some battery. Easily we can carry at any temporary places in meetings. Just I can open, I can use while I am in a journey. At that time I can use. And the major advantage of this one is we can easily carry from one place to another place, easily portable. So that's why they are calling this one as a like a thin briefcase, and also it will be shape of a notebook open. So that's why this is also called as a notebook computer. So this is the image. So here all the parts has been compact into a thin part. Here this is the monitor. Here already a keyboard is there. A mouse means that is a touchpad will be here, and all facilities will be available in this one only. So that's why. So this is one of nowadays. So mostly more than PCs, all the persons are using for personal uses. All the persons are using this notebook computers or laptops. Coming to workstations. So this is like a PC which is having some more capacity. These are having high resolution input output graphics capability. It has performed more computational power than the personal computer. For example, if you see in some graphic stations where they wants to print or they want to process large types of images, all these things. So at that time, if you want to get a more clarity about the images, we require some high resolution. Then only the clarity of the images are going to be increased. So sometimes we cannot perform all the tasks in a personal computer. At that time, so they will use some workstations. So that is nothing but of some higher capacity of the personal computers. They have a big size of monitor and CPU, some graphic cards. Because of whenever you are using a workstation, so majorly we are going to be apply this one in the graphical environment. And also mainly these are the computers that are used in engineering applications and interactive design work. Interactive design work is nothing but of creating some designs. So here entrepreneurship enterprise system. So this is also called as a mainframe computer. Enterprise or mainframe systems are mainly used for business data processing that require much more computing power and storage capacity than the workstations. The mainframe computers are mainly used in business environments, government sectors, militaries, defense control, and scientific applications. So whenever you go for this particular system, wherever you want to process large amount of data, so at that time they will use this one. So it will be very big in size, occupying of one room of size, and also the cost of that one also will be high. But it's not possible to use as a personal computer because of two things we want to consider here. The cost is very high. That much of powerful computer may not required for personal works, and also it's not a easy to portable, and also it will occupy more space only where we want to process large amount of data or some complex applications if you want to run, which occupy more size and capacity. So at that time only we are using this one. So that's why this. enterprise or mainframe computers are mainly applicable in business data processing because of, for example, consider a bank. A bank will have a lot of data to be processed because of several branches are there. So whenever we have several branches, we want to process large amounts of data. So at the time it requires more storage capacity as well as it requires more computing power also because of several users are interacting with the system at a time. So the system wants to respond for all the people, as well as it also require more storage capacity also. In that situations we will use this one. Here supercomputer, it is used for large scale numerical calculations required in applications like weather forecasting, identifying of earthquakes, artifact design and simulations. So this is the most powerful computer. So this cost is very high. Instead of purchasing one supercomputer, we can purchase several thousands of PCs. So this will be mainly used in scientific areas. So where large amount of numerical calculations are required. For example, if you consider a weather forecasting. So consider a weather forecasting, every second to second or every time to time it is continuously changing. That much of speed it wants to collect or forecast the weather. Very fastly we want to identify the situation. Very fastly it wants to be analyzed. And same it also be useful in identifying of earthquakes, artifact designs, simulations, or we can also use in rocket launchings or sometimes in pharmaceutical companies, chemical reactions, all this because of these are the things which are going to be happen very fastly. So that's why the supercomputers are going to be used in some areas where we require large scale of mathematical calculations that should be done very rapidly or speedily. So when now come to the cost of this one, it also begins size and the cost is also very high. It may not be useful for the single user as a personal computer because of that much of speed or processing we may not require, and also the cost of this one also is very high.